Right. So, could you please, everyone, please confirm me on the attendee chat that you can see the screen properly and listen to my voice? Please confirm. Okay, great. So let's start. And the topic of today is how you can actually go for buying or selling decision on Nifty 50 stocks. Huh? So today, what we're gonna do? We're gonna start with the Nifty 50 stocks, basically the liquid ones, and हमारा aim रहेगा to go for identify those stocks with a very simple system. As you have seen in the course, I have given you various systems, but right now we just concentrate on simple systems and then we go on complex them. So आज हम एक simple system से शुरुआत करेंगे and then successively in our coming weeks we more refine it and go with the more complex system. So to start with, let's go and as all of you can see this Orion light here. So I'll just simply go. Okay, let's design a template first. So I go for Excel and I move it here. So say what we're gonna do, we're gonna select long or buy, right? Similarly, we go for short or sell. And third thing which we need to identify is sideways, right? Which is good for option writing. Okay, so we just try to identify those stocks and put them as a list here, right? Again, I go back to the terminal here and you see here the present state of the market, what has happened today. So let's none of the concern, let's go. And if you click on start here, and here in MOSL you have some predefined market watch list. So if I click on open here, and then in this drop down menu, you see you have various indexes: Nifty 100, 200, auto, bank, infra, IT, media, metal, all are predefined, right? So you can straight away go onto them on that particular index which you are interested in. So say I go to Nifty 50, which is our point of study today. I click on Nifty 50 and I click on open. So here I have got the Nifty 50 stocks on which we're gonna do our analysis. As I said, हम एक बहुत सिंपल सिस्टम यूज करेंगे पहले, जो भी हमें यूज करना है. So say first is Adani Ports. So I click charts of Adani Ports here, and you can right click and put study manager or first the bar size and go for daily. It is the daily chart, so you see the daily chart. Here two things मैंने plot करके रखी हुई है. You see this particular line. This is our 50 period EMA. अगर आपको ध्यान हो तो ये हमारा बाई और सेल लाइन था. जब भी प्राइस इसके ऊपर होगा वी गोना बाय, और जब भी प्राइस इसके नीचे होगा वी गोना सेल. This is 50 EMA and this is 200 सिंपल मूविंग एवरेज. दो चीजें ध्यान रखिएगा. मैंने ऑलरेडी यहां पे एक जो ये लाइन है ये 50 पीरियड एक्सपोनेंशियल मूविंग एवरेज की है, और ये जो मेन कर्व्ड लाइन दिख रही है, दिस इज 200-day exponential moving average, simple moving average, right? And on moreover, I have simply plotted one super trend. I give you the settings also of that super trend. So I go on to the study manager here. I click on add and I click on super trend here, and high, low, close period may you should put 14 and the multiplier should be 1 or 2. Let's have the same case and make sure आप उसकी जो width है वो 3 पे रखें ताकि आपको clearly visible हो, and you just simply add, right? That's what I have done here. Now what I will do, I'll add two more things. Very simple system, huh? I add, go to the study manager and I click on add and I add MACD. MACD. 9, 24, 9. Right? Short period is 9, long period is 24, average period is 9. I add it. Now I add one more thing, which is MACD histogram. So I click on add and I go on to the MACD histogram. Same settings, 9, 24, 9. Add, right. So this is the simple system which I am going to follow for this talk. And उसके बाद हम इसमें multiple combinations और भी बनाएंगे. But just let's analyze on this basis. हाँ, इसमें conditions क्या होंगी? देखिए हम इन stocks को जो study कर रहे हैं, our main objective is to go for swing trades, basically from 1 week to 3 weeks or a month. That is our main objective, huh? And whenever you find the price which is below 50 period EMA and the super trend has gone up, there you have a typical short entry. And if it has to be supported by the MACD or the MACD histogram, you see, if I plot this MACD is right now didn't give us the crossover, but that's fine, right? That's a major help, because if you see here, whenever it has given the crossover, then it downs quite a bit, right? And if you see here, if I plot a kind of trend line here, you see the MACD histogram, right? So that's a confirmation. Means now this I will look on daily chart first, हाँ, अडानी पोर्ट्स. अब इसके बाद मेरा जो एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम फ्रेम होगा वो होगा 120 मिनट्स का, as I am going for swing and long swing. So I again go and click on the bar size here. You see you have an open box here. Here you can type 120 and press enter. So here you again check that on daily time frame it was a short entry, and similarly you also have a short entry and you also have a crossover MACD. The trend is also down, right? So this is your execution time frame where you can go for short entry in Adani ports as per this system. So you get short in Adani port something around 375 and put your stop loss at 381 where this 50 period EMA is, right? It's a swing trade, right? Remember. So अगर आपको short होना है, then you have two routes. So we have studied one, Adani ports. हमने अपना system बनाया, daily time frame पे उसको analyze किया, major trend को देखा, major force को देखा, उसके बाद हम अपने execution time frame में आए. तो हम इसमें अपनी लिस्ट में इसको ऐड करते हैं, which is Adani ports is short or sell. अभी अगर आपको short और sell करना है, suppose, तो stocks में तो आप intraday ही कर सकते हैं, but what would be the other mechanism? You can go for with the shorting the future, or you can go with the buying a put option. राइट, आप ये दोनों तरीकों से कर सकते हैं, ठीक है, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन योर appetite and the money. You can have these two options to go for shorting in Adani Ports. Now let's see another Asian Paint. Again, I open an Asian Paint chart. Remember, we should need to go for daily first. And if somehow, because sometimes the software people, they are updating, so if you're not getting the daily chart, you go to the bar size here, and approximately in a trading day there are 375 minutes. So you can put 375 minutes, then you can have a feel of daily charts. Here you see in daily charts, what I see is Asian Paints in an uptrend. If I plot the trend line here, so it's more or less higher highs, right? So according to the daily chart of Asian Paints, it should be buy or go long. And let's see in my execution time frame, which is 120 minutes. Here also it's a buy, right? So here you can buy Asian Paints something around at 1286 and put your stop loss at 1276, right? So for us, the Asian Paint is buy. And to buy or long, आप क्या कर सकते हैं? What you can do? You can buy a future. You can buy a call option, and you can also buy stock of that particular, because all of them have a same effect. You can buy a future where you have to check your risk management in place. You can buy a call option. It has the similar effect. And also you can buy as per your risk appetite, as per your money management scenario, which I have explained to you in the course. You can buy that particular stock. Shorting is not allowed, but eventually you can buy stocks. You can buy a single stock and you can check your strategy of the system, or you can buy 1,000 stocks. So these are different mechanisms how you can short or go long or buy. So Asian Paint is a buy. Let's see. Okay. Axis Bank. So if I go on to my study time frame, I would like to see daily. If it's not coming, I can go with the 375 minutes. Axis Bank, uh, according to this, it's a buy, but remember, it is making lower highs. So I'm a bit skeptical on this. And if I see the Axis Bank on successive trading days, it is more or less on a sideways fashion. More or less ये sideways है. And if I click onto my execution time frame, which is 120 minutes again, I see here the Axis Bank is short. But if I see on the major time frame daily, it's more or less on the sideways scale. So I'm not very much interested in shorting here, or I'm not very much interested in buying Axis Bank. So where I could put this Axis Bank as a sideways. Remember, we are studying this for 2 to 3 weeks. And in 2 to 3 weeks afterwards, there could be a change in those studies, right? Let's go and again have a look on another, say Bajaj Auto. I go to 375 minutes. And Bajaj Auto is also from quite number of days it's on a sideways, but it is giving a kind of buy signal. And let's see on 120 minutes. In 120 minutes, it's also, if I see it's on a sideways, right? So I don't want to go long or short in access this Bajaj Auto. So I put this Bajaj Auto on a sideways फैशन. एंड इन साइडवेज, अगर जो साइडवेज में जो हम स्टॉक्स कर रहे हैं, इसमें हम डिफरेंट ऑप्शंस की स्ट्रैटेजीज लगा सकते हैं. स्ट्रैडल, स्ट्रैंगल, बटरफ्लाई, आयरन कॉन्डोर, which I'll explain you later on. Let's see and go for Bajaj Finance server. Here we go to daily chart, and here if I could see that according to the daily chart it's a buy, but from last 3 days it's going down, right? So let's see on our execution time frame, which is at 120 minutes. 120 minutes, it's giving me a short entry, and in daily time frame it is giving me a long entry. So I simply skip this stock, right, where I do have a conflicting information, जहां पे दोनों टाइम फ्रेम, मेजर टाइम फ्रेम और मेरा एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम फ्रेम आपस में कम्युनिकेशन में नहीं है, वहां पे मैं कोई भी ट्रेड नहीं लूंगा, बिकॉज आई एम वेरी मच इंटरेस्टेड इन द कंफर्म्ड एंड द फ्रेश एंट्री ओनली, राइट? सो आई स्किप दिस. Bajaj Finance. Bajaj Finance, it's also a long on daily chart. And let's see on our execution time frame, which is 120. It's also a buy. And here on 120, it gives me a fresh entry. Here you see, you have a fresh entry here. So it is in conjugation with my major time frame and the execution time frame. So for me, the Bajaj Finance is a buy. Bajaj Finance, it's a buy. Now let's see Bharti Airtel. Bharti Airtel, if I go on to the daily charts, okay, so I go to 375. Bharti Airtel on daily charts is also more or less, if I could see, it's on a sideways trend. It is moving from low of 350 or 340 to high of roughly around 390. So 40-50 points. It's just simply sideways. It has no trends. But let's see on 120. On 120, it's a short entry, but as I said, on the major time frame, it is giving me a sideways trend. So I don't want to waste or engage myself in a stock where I would find the major forces sideways. So I'm not very much interested in this, but I could put this as a potential candidate for options. Bharti Airtel. Now let's go and see BPCL. BPCL on daily charts or 375 minutes, it's a buy, but it is it's if I see from here, it is having an uptrend, a very slow uptrend, but there is an uptrend, and more or less it is forming higher highs, higher lows. So BPCL, it's a buy on a major time frame, and let's see on 120. In 120, it is not giving me a fresh buy entry. And if I see on a 120 time period for last approximately 2 weeks, I could also find it as on a sideways trend. So I'm not very much interested either in long or short, but I could put this BPCL on a sideways. Okay, so let's go to another Cipla. I go to 375. 375 daily chart, Cipla is a buy, but also you need to see that it is coming on a more or less on a double top. But for me, it's a buy. If I could have find Cipla over here at 542, fresh entry, it it would be a perfect buy. But here I could be a little conscious, but still it has an potential from 588 till 600. So if I go to my 120 minutes time frame, and I still have, and you see the Cipla, it's on an uptrend, and I have an uptrend entry. So in Cipla, I would definitely go for buy. So Cipla is a long or buy candidate for next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, if I go to Coal India, to daily charts, daily charts of Coal India shows me, you see you have an confirmed MACD crossover here, and also it's going down. The super trend was up, but more or less it's near to its 50 EMA also, and also the MACD histogram is also supporting this. See here, right? So you have three confirmation from the daily charts. Whenever you have three confirmation, it's going to be a very high potential trade. Now let's see on 120 minutes. In 120 minutes, it is giving me a buy. So what should I supposed to do? My higher time frame is suggesting me to short, and my execution time frame is suggesting me to buy. So I do nothing. If I have two conflicting information, then it's better to avoid that particular trade. So I should actually also add one more line: do nothing. That is also very important, right? Sometimes we miss it, but that is a very good thing to have. Actually, do nothing. And do nothing is Coal India, where I don't want to go long or short or deploy any option strategy, because I have conflicting information. But in some complex option strategies, I can use Coal India, but I'll tell you later on which complex strategies of options you can use to go for this kind of scripts where you have two conflicting information. But let's stick to our basic things first. Dr. Reddy. Dr. Reddy on a daily time frame, it's in a very good uptrend. It is also supported by the MACD crossover, and it is also supported by the MACD histogram. Right? So on my major time frame, Dr. Reddy is a buy. Now let's see on my execution time frame. On my execution time frame, also Dr. Reddy is a buy, and it has a potential to go to 2400. So for Dr. Reddy, I go for buy for 2 3 weeks, right? Remember, we are just going for the swing trade. Eicher Motor, I see on a daily chart, it's more or less for continuous approximately 2 months. It is on a sideways fashion. And if I go on to 120 minutes here, I could also see the Eicher Motor, it's more or less sideways. So I put Eicher Motor here. Eicher Motor as a sideways. Now I go to Gale. GAIL, it's a short entry, but more or less the sideways. And let's see on 120 minutes time frame. So GAIL, it's more or less very much sideways. So either I can put in sideways or do nothing. I'll just put this on a do nothing list. Then comes the Grasim. If I see Grasim on a daily charts, it's more or less very much sideways, right? And if I go to my 120 minutes, it's still very much sideways. So I don't have any particular confirmed entry either for long or short. So I put Grasim on a sideways or do nothing. So I just put this Grasim. Now I go to HCL Tech on 375 minutes time frame. HCL Tech on 375 minutes time frame or daily, it's a buy, it's a long entry, which is also being confirmed by the histogram and also by the MACD crossover. Now I go to my 120 minutes time frame, and yes, my 120 execution time frame is also giving me a buy entry, right? Where I do have a crossover here, and also I supported by this MACD histogram. So HCL Tech, it's a buy with a target of roughly around 980. So for me, the HCL Tech is long or buy, right? Okay, let's go to HDFC. SDFC on 375 minutes time frame. It's giving me a short entry, but let's see on 120 minutes. It's also giving me a short entry, but more or less SDFC Bank, it's pretty much sideways. So I actually don't do anything with HDFC Bank as per this moment. SDFC, not bank, the SDFC. Again, I go to the SDFC Bank. It is more or less the same thing. Hero Moto Corp. If I go on to the Hero Moto Corp on daily charts, it's giving me a fresh long entry. Not fresh, but a long entry. And also, if I go on to 120 minutes, in 120 minutes, I'm not having a fresh long entry, right? So, two conflicting information. So, what would I do? I do nothing, right? Hindalco, if I go on to the Hindalco on daily charts or 375 minutes time frame, I'm doing this a bit on a faster pace because I need to analyze all those 50 stocks. Huh? But I'm sure you are getting the concepts on which, because we are repeating the same thing for 50 multiple stocks. So I hope you will get that feel. On daily time frame, all 375 minutes, Hindalco is a short. And if I go for 120 minutes, Hindalco, it's still a short to me, right? I can short Hindalco at 244 and put my stop loss somewhere around 248 with a target of approximately 230, right? So 14 points from here. So I can go for shorting in Hindalco. Hind Petro, on a daily time frame, it's more or less very much sideways, no trend as such. And in and you see one of the see things, when you see those two MACD averages are actually just more or less overlapping with respect to each other, that's a confirmed sideways market signal, right? And you can see also the MACD histogram as well. But let's see on 120. On 120 is a short, but as I said, it's on more or less on a sideways fashion. So I put this Hind Petro as a sideways, right? Hindustan Unilever. Hindustan Unilever, it's short in one, but let's see on daily. It's it's very much on an uptrend. And if I go on to 120 here, it actually tries to get fresh long, but it has shown the weakness and it closes below that. So if the Hindustan Unilever closes above 1625, I could create a fresh long position in Hindustan Unilever, which is in continuation with my daily time frame. So I can put this on a long candidate, but I put a condition after 1625. If the price moves above 1625, then I'll become a long or a buy trader or investor in Hindustan Unilever. You see how you actually decide and make your approach, which stocks you buy, sell, sideways, do nothing, right? So India Bulls Housing Finance on a daily charts, it is a buy signal, but more or less it's not sideways. But let me see on my execution time frame, 120. It's a sell signal, right? So in India Bulls Housing Finance, I could go short only if it closes below 1150. So India Bull Housing Finance is a short. Goes below, was that 1150, right? Okay. ICCI Bank, 375. It's more or less on a very much sideways market, right? But it's giving a sell signal, but the MACD is giving me a crossover signal. So it's a bit conflict information, but let's see on 120 minutes. In 120 minutes, it's giving me a sell signal, but as I could see the ICCI Bank, it's more or less very much sideways as per movement. So I do nothing with ICCI Bank. Indusin Bank. Indusin Bank, it's on a very much uptrend, means it's a long, but you see the MACD peaks are simply overlapping. But let's see on 120 minutes time frame, it's giving me a fresh buy. Yes. So IndusInd Bank is a buy with the potential target of 2000 from here. So IndusInd Bank is a buy candidate for me. Now Infratel on daily time frame, it's a short entry, right? And on 120 minutes, it's a short entry, right? So definitely Infratel is a short candidate for me. confirm shorts. Infratel is a short. Infosys, if I go on daily time frame or 375 minutes, Infosys, it's a buy for me. It's making higher highs, higher lows. And on my execution time frame, if I could see also, yes. So Infosys is a buy with a potential target of 1260. Infosys is a buy. IOC, IOC, it's more or less very much sideways for consecutive last 2 3 weeks. But let's see on 120 minutes time frame. Yeah, it's very much sideways. It's very much sideways. It's very good. IOC, it's very good candidate for sideways market conditions, basically the options. So I put this IOC on a sideways list. Again, I go to the ITC on daily charts. Daily charts, ITC, it's always remain in a very particular tight range, and you know how to deal with those tight range. You can go with the channel trading, right? You can plot the channels over here, like say in this case, if I want to create a channel, so roughly this is the upper part of the channel, and this is the kind of lower part of the channel. So as per now, this channel, you could buy ITC here and put your strict stop loss at 264 and expect to move around something around 280. That's a channel trading. That's a different topic which we deal on later. So what I should put this ITC, where should I put? In sideways market as per now. Kotak Bank, if I go on to the daily charts of the Kotak Bank, it's more or less very much sideways, but it appears to me a potential short. But let's see on 120 minutes. No, it's very much sideways. It's more or less trading in a very tight range. So until and unless you get a fresh confirmed either long or a short trend with a confirmed entry, you shouldn't go with that. So Kotak Bank, it's a sideways. LT, Larsen and Toubro, if I see this on a daily charts or 375 minutes. 375 minutes LT is a short, and if I go on to my execution time frame, which is 120, it's a potential short. Yes. So you can short LT and put your stop loss at 1355. Always remember, whenever you do shorting the future, buying the stocks, or buying the call and put option, always remember to put your stop losses. Don't do any trading without putting your stop losses. ये एक confirmed piece of advice है, और इसको जब भी आप ट्रेडिंग करें हमेशा ध्यान में रखिएगा, right? So LT is a short, so I put this on my short list. And then I go for okay, I have too many stocks, but anyways, I go for Lupin. Lupin is a confirmed uptrend buy for me. And if I go on to 120 minutes here on my execution time frame, yes, it's a confirmed buy at approximately 900 with my stop loss at 880 for swing trades, and it could potentially could reach to 950. So Lupin, it's a confirmed buy for my swing trades or monthly trades. Mahindra and Mahindra, Mahindra and Mahindra, it's also on an uptrend. But let me see on, but the MACD histogram, it's not supporting its up move. As you can see, it has. So I have a bit of conflicting information. So it's okay. Let's see on, you see here, right? Let's see on 120 minutes time frame. It's more or less very much sideways, but I have conflicting information, so I don't do anything. So M and M, I don't do anything. Right? Go for Maruti. Daily chart, Maruti, it's in an uptrend. Yes. And in 120 minutes time frame, if I could see, it's giving me a kind of short uh, entry. So it's a conflicting information. So until and unless Maruti, it's a long, but only if it closes below 9030, right? So I can put as here Maruti above 9030. Before that, I don't do anything. And NTPC, daily charts, NTPC looks short to me, a definite crossover, and the MACD histogram is also supporting it. And if I go to my execution time frame, yes, it's a potential short NTPC with the stop loss at 160. So NTPC is a short candidate for me, right? ONGC, if I go on to the daily charts or simply 375 minutes time frame, ONGC giving me a fresh short entry. Let's see on 120 minutes. Yes, ONGC is a short with a stop loss of roughly around 173. So for me, the ONGC is a short candidate. Power grid on a daily time frame. Power grid, it's a short, but it is coming on to this buy zone area or the accumulation zone. But let's see on 120 minutes. It's a fresh buy. So I would definitely go for buying power grid and put my stop loss at somewhere around 194 with a target of approximately 206. So power grid is a buy for me, right? Now, Reliance. If I go on to the Reliance here, say 375, it's on a very much uptrend, and more or less it's trying to give me a breakout. So I'm very much conscious with the Reliance. If it stays above 1000 for 2 3 multiple days, or it respect that 1000 rupees mark of its stock value, then it's a confirmed buy for approximately 1030 or something. And if I go on to 120 minutes, it's a fresh long entry in Reliance. So I would go with long in Reliance if it stays above 110, 1010 actually. If it goes above 1010, then I'll become long, of course, with my strict stop loss in Reliance. SBI, SBI on a daily charts or at 375 minutes. It's a buy at 282, and let's see on 120 minutes. 120 minutes, it's a sell. So I don't do anything. That is also a very good conclusion. Do nothing with SB, State Bank of India. Do nothing. Sun Pharma on a daily time frame, it's a confirmed buy. It's a confirmed buy. You see, you have a buy signal. Also, it's supported by the MACD histogram, and you also have MACD crossovers before that on a daily chart. It matters a lot. And now, if I go on to my execution time frame, which is 120 minutes, still up. So definitely, Sun Pharma, it's a buy for me, right? But of course, with my strict stop losses. Sun Pharma is a buy. Tata Motors, if I could see on a daily chart or 375 minutes. Tata Motors, it's more or less in a very much sideways fashion. And if I see on 120 minutes, it's giving me a short entry, but very much sideways. So I don't do anything with the Tata Motors as per the movements, right? Once we are doing this analysis, remember, it's from today onwards how things would look like, right? And Tata Steel, if I go on to the daily charts or 375, in daily charts, Tata is still giving me sell entry. And if I go on to my 120 minutes, it is more or less the sell entry, but you see, it is actually on its accumulation zone or the buying zone. So if it goes below 555, then only I'll become short in Tata Steel. Till now, either I don't go for shorting opportunities in Tata Steel. I would definitely go for buying opportunity in Tata Steel with my strict stop loss. So you have two choices. Either you can go long with the strict stop loss or you can do nothing. It's up to you, right? TCS, if I see on 375 minutes, TCS, it's a buy. But if I look onto my execution time frame, okay, so it has gone pretty much up, but right now it's retracing from there and it's giving me a sell signal. So I have too much conflicting information. So what I will do in TCS, I do nothing. And again, I go to Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra on a daily time frame, it's on a regular uptrend, but the uptrend is actually reducing its stream, and also the MACD is more or less overlapping. But let's see on 120 minutes, it's a short. So Tech Mahindra, effectively what I will do, nothing, because I have conflicting information. Titan, if I go with the daily time frame, Titan, it's more or less very much sideways. It's oscillating from 900 to 1000 range. But anyways, it's a fresh buy for me. I also have a crossover, and I also, it has to be supported by the MACD histogram. And if I go on to my 120 minutes, it's giving me a short entry, right? So I have too much conflicting information from my major time frame to my, so what I do in Titan, nothing, because I need the confirmed entries. I'm not very much in a hurry, और मुझे कोई जल्दबाजी नहीं है ट्रेड लेने की, बट जो मेरा ट्रेड होना चाहिए वो एक कंफर्मेशन पे, एक प्रॉपर स्टडी के साथ, और वो अच्छे से होना चाहिए. अल्ट्रा ट्रैक on a daily chart, giving me a buy signal. Very good fresh entry in Ultratech Cement. And on 120 minutes, it's giving me a sell signal, right? So I don't have a confirmed entry, so I don't do anything. I don't do anything with Ultratech Cement. UPL, if I go on to the daily charts here, UPL is giving me a fresh short entry. It also has been MACD crossover will happen, say in next 1 or 2 trading days. It also being the MACD histogram is going up, down, and in 120 minutes the UPL is also short. So UPL is a potential short candidate for me. So where should I put this UPL? Here as short or sell. Okay, only 4 left. VEDL. If I see VEDL Vedanta, it's a short on a daily charts, but I have conflicting information because it is giving me a MACD crossover in the upward direction and also the trend line, which is making a conflicting information what I could see on daily charts. But if I go on to my execution time frame, which is 120 minutes, here it's also a short, but I'm not very much comfortable with shorting the VDL at this point of time, as along with the whole Tata Steel stuff. And also, so I don't do anything with VEDL until and unless I have confirmed short and long in my both the time frame, right? So Wipro on a daily time frame or at 375 minutes, Wipro it's a buy supported by the MACD peak and also the MACD histogram. Let me see at 120. Yes, Wipro it's a buy. So for me, Wipro is a buy. If I go again, Yes Bank. Yes Bank on daily charts or at 375 minutes time frame, 375. Yes Bank giving me a short signal, right? With this also, and also with the going down the MACD histogram peak. And if I go on to this 120 minutes, it's giving me a buy signal. So I have conflicting information, and also Yes Bank is very much sideways. So what I would do with the Yes Bank, do nothing, right? So the last one, Zeal, Z Entertainment. If I go on to the daily charts, it is more or less on a sideways, but on potential buy with MACD and this. But let's see on 120 minutes. In 120 minutes, it's a sell. So what should I needs to do? Do nothing, right? So we have completed all those Nifty stocks as per our analysis. Now let's analyze. हमने ये shorts, long short sideways do nothing तो देख लिए, but right now what you will get the feel from this. You see, you have approximately 14 stocks for buy, and you have 8 stocks to sell, and you have 9 stocks which are in sideways market, and you have approximately 15 to 16 stocks where you do nothing. So if I go with the ratio of long and short and sideways, so in a nutshell, where we are in a balance. We are somewhere in the distribution zone or the sell zone as a overall market, right? So here because if I take the candidates of short and sideways, they are pretty much more than the candidates which I have found for the long. So that's how I get a general feeling about the market, that what the most of these big companies which are forming this Nifty 50 are doing at present. So that's how you get a feel of this market. And remember, again, whenever you need to observe, you need to see, first check from your main time frame, which is daily, what signal it's giving you, whether buy or sell. And then again, you need to check on your execution time frame, which is 120 minutes, whether you have a buy or sell signal in that. And always remember, whenever you have a confirmed buy on both the time frame, then you only go for long. And when you have confirmed sell on both the time frame, which is also very much aligned with the simple system which we have designed today, then only you should take a trade. And of course, with a strict stop losses. That is very important. Always remember that, right? And in a nutshell, that is all from my end today. And if you have any question, you can ask me now, or we will see again and we'll meet each other on next Thursday. And please take care of that, because if I will be around, then the session will be taken place. If not, then you will get the recordings of any previous sessions which I have for refreshing your knowledge. Right? So if you have any question, could you just please simply ask, and then we can actually wrap up the things. Right. So, okay. So I hope this session is useful to you, and it will enhance some of your trading knowledge or the investing knowledge as per the concern. And you will get the recordings of this session, and you have a time to watch again and again till Sunday. And from Monday onwards, the link will expire. So you'll have this link, recorded link, which you will get tomorrow, and you will have it for 3 days. So you can watch as many as times as you would like, and have a feel about what we have learned so far, right? So okay, I guess a very good night to all, and trade with cautions, and always use the stop losses with your risk management and the money management in place. So have a nice weekend to all of you, and I'll see you all on next Thursday, next week, right? Take care. Bye bye.